Hi, Robin with Oxy-Dry, and as you can see, I'm once again in my garage, and I was thinking about the comparison tests that I was doing the other day there, and I thought, well, I wonder if there'd be any difference on a Berber carpet, because I happen to have a piece of Berber carpet here as well. I thought it'd be a kind of an interesting comparison. Anyway, but what really sort of inspired me was after I'd done all my testing, I took my Hoover and I did it's a weekend, and usually on the weekend I will open up my vacuum and make sure everything is, you know, all clean and everything. And I'd been using this thing for, I guess, a little bit more than a week, and I hadn't really thought about it much. I just sort of glanced under the brush roll a couple of times, and I thought I looked pretty good. But this time I actually pulled the plate off the bottom, and I realized there's actually a little bit of clogging that's been going on in the where the air goes up the tube there, right in here. I mean, not very much, but enough that it would definitely have an effect, at least probably a measurable effect on the airflow. And I thought, well, that's hardly being fair to the Hoover. I mean, it did win, but it was kind of debatable as to how well it won there. So I thought, okay, well, I'll make sure it's running, it's all cleaned out and everything in there. And then I thought, well, I did know the bag had been used a little bit, and I wasn't not all that concerned about that. But I thought, I made sure that the sanitaire had a nice clean bag in it, a brand new bag actually, and the Kirby. It's got a brand new bag in there, and it's all clean underneath. The head brush roll is perfectly clean. This is perfectly clean underneath, and everything was perfectly clean except for the Hoover. Anyway, and I thought, well, maybe I better check and see just what condition that bag was in that I was using. And here it is right here. This is the bag that was in the Hoover. And as you can see, it's actually pretty gross, isn't it? And there's quite a coating of, where's my light over here? There's quite a coating of dust and whatever in there. So anyway, I figured, well, let's make sure everything's perfectly clean, and maybe that'll be a more fair way to do things. I do expect the Hoover still will win, but I just thought, let's try it on the Berber. And I'm also curious, I thought it'd be kind of fun to try the Centria up against the G5. So maybe we'll do that first. Plug in the Centria. I mean the G5. See how it goes. I think the Centria does have a higher airflow rating, although not by much. Now these vacuums, because of the way that they sit on the floor, the head actually sits flat with the wheels and everything, and you actually kind of raise the whole vacuum up and down, as opposed to a vacuum, well, like the Hoover, which pivots off of the back wheels. All the weight actually sits on the back wheels, and the head kind of floats a little bit. And that's one of the reasons why the Kirby, when you're using a Kirby, when you put it down on the floor, you actually feel the floor kind of vibrating, because the Kirby is actually putting its 21 or 22 pounds right down onto the carpet. It's actually meant to more or less not actually seal on the carpet, but be right close to the carpet fiber, and it has great agitation. That's one of the reasons they work so well. It's not just the airflow, it's the agitation too. So let's see, have I got them both plugged in? Grab my paper towel roll. Now the interesting thing is that although the Centria is a much newer machine than this, the heads on them are actually identical. They just make them look different with a rubber bumper. They look a little bit different, and then the bodies are slightly shaped differently, but essentially they're the same machine underneath. Slight differences in the motor, I think, is all they do. Maybe a different winding or whatever. But so let's. Where are we at? I think we're about there for both of them. Yep. Let's give it a try. That takes that from there easily. No wonder this one isn't on. Let's see what happens if I turn this one on. Oh, gotta plug it in. Huh. That's interesting. Oh, no, right there. Oh, I stole it. Okay. Okay. I think the Centria has a slight edge. It's pretty close, as it should be. Basically, they are the same vacuum. So let's try let's go back over here. I think they would be pretty much equal on the berber, but now we're going to try the berber carpet with the Sanitaire, and we'll go over the Sanitaire with the Pro Team. Now the Pro Team, also the vacuum bag was about a quarter or so full, so we'll I put a brand new bag in there, and I double checked in the head there, make sure it was really clean, nothing obstructing the airflow. So get rid of that one. And no, I've actually been messing around ahead of time here to try to determine what was the right level for the Sanitaire to be at. I tried it at setting 3 and setting 4 and figured out what was the best height adjustment for it. And what's a wire here? Okay, we'll unplug that one. Get that out of there. All right. Okay, so and we'll turn this on. Now I don't have to put the handle back on this because this again sits flat. So I'll just hold it there. I don't have my helper today, as you noticed. She's in the garden right now. She thinks I'm crazy doing all this anyway. But we gotta know, right? Okay. So will the Pro Team steal from the Sanitaire? Oh, it did. Look at that. Took a little bit of... Oh, it did again. Well, isn't that interesting? Now let's try something. I'm at setting 3. We'll go to 4. You can hear the air now. I don't think I would run it at that height on that carpet, because I can actually hear the difference. The brush roll is not really touching. But let's just see what happens. Oh, look at that. Okay. We'll go back the other way. Go to 2. Oh, look at that. Isn't that interesting? Huh. Actually, I'm a little surprised at that. But it's partly the design of the way the heads work on these. These direct air vacuums, they are really meant to draw the air from deep down. So it does tend to, they go flat down on the carpet. Whereas a vacuum such as this tends to, again, it's pivoting off of the back, and the head kind of floats a little bit. So let's try it over here anyway, on the fusee carpet. I'm surprised still, though. This is not necessarily proving that the one vacuum is superior to another as far as performance goes. There's other factors that do come into play, but this is just an interesting, I don't know, I find this really interesting that they have different characteristics. One, like these are the direct air vacuums definitely, or normally, have much higher airflow. That one is, the Sanitaire is 140. The Kirby's are around 130. I think maybe a little bit less, which is very impressive when you consider that like a vacuum like this Pro Team is, I think it's around, I think it's under 100 CFM, but it has a higher water lift by a lot. This is about 80 or 90 inches of water lift, whereas I don't know what the Sanitaire has. It doesn't even have a hose. Can't even put a hose on it, so I would imagine it's probably much like the Kirby, which is about 40 inches of water lift, which is pretty darn weak. So it's just a different way to go. My primary use for vacuums is residential carpets. So, but I actually carry a Kirby, Pro Team, my Hoover, and a Shark in my van anyway. So I will choose the vacuum that's going to work the best on the situation I'm up against. So let's turn on the Sanitaire and see what we get. Oh, look at that. Huh. I think that's interesting. I'm gonna guess. Hang on a minute. I'm gonna guess that is a reflection of the water lift. This does have higher water lift, and this is a little bit of this is weight, a little bit of weight to that. Not much, obviously, but my guess is that's kind of why this is doing better. And of course, the other day when I was testing this, I did have the bag was a quarter full or so. So I've got a brand new bag in there, so it's actually running top performance right now. I'm wondering now. Let's try the. I can't remember whether or not the Shark won against this when we did it the other day. Go back a video or two. I think I have it there. So let's try the Shark against the Pro Team on the fusee carpet. Of course, this is a bagless cyclonic. And this has got a bag, so I can just leave this one sitting flat because it doesn't alter the angle when it goes into operating position. So let's see what happens here. Actually, I will have to make it turn the brush roll, and I have to put it back. But let's try it this way first. Okay, how am I going to do that? we'll just put this thing like that. Okay, that'll work. See if I can steal that. I cannot. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. Now, of course, the burning question is, how will the Hoover do against the Sanitaire on the Berber? Oh, let's put it over here first, because this is where we were last time, was on the Frise. And we'll get this out of the way. Okay, that's plugged in already. The Sanitaire. Here's the plug for the Sanitaire, right here. So, let's turn this one on. And the Hoover. We'll try the Hoover at the low speed first. So that's low power. Okay. That's low power. High power. So once that's a very definitive win for the Hoover. But let's put it on the Berber. That's okay. All right, low power first. Oh my. That's low power. There's high power. Okay. I'm going to raise it up one. Try it again. And that's low power. So that helped. Oh, no, I got it. No, look at that, eh? Oh, dear. That's low power. Well, so I guess the only conclusion that I can reach is that the Hoover is moving more air than any of these vacuums, including the Sanitaire and the Kirby. But remember that the Kirby in particular does have the ability to kind of go right down on the carpet, because this vacuum, let me show you what I mean by this. Bear this in mind when you're operating it, and this is an operating position. The head, well, it's got a fair amount of weight to it, actually. It's not bad, but it's not bearing down with all of its weight. But so there you go. That's if you're wondering about the Hoover, how does it perform? You know, is it a good performing vacuum compared to the Pro Team. It definitely has more power. Obviously, the Shark is actually, as you watch, if you watch the other video, it did really quite well, but it's not. It's really not certainly not a vacuum you really want to use for every day, for commercial, running a business. I mean, you can buy them pretty cheap, but then again, this isn't that expensive. I paid $4.27 Canadian for that, and I haven't looked at the price on the US. And I got it from Amazon.ca, but Amazon.com, I suppose, has them as well, and I bet you they're at least $100 less. So, I mean, how could you lose? I mean, it's a pretty inexpensive vacuum. The Sanitaire, one of the things about the Sanitaire, they're really noisy. They're a durable vacuum, all right, but of course then you have to have something separate for doing your edges and corners, which is okay, because I actually have a little Shark stick vac, which works really well, but then you got to carry that in, and that's a pain in the butt when you're going up to, say, a condo or something like that. And that's one of the reasons why I began thinking about this vacuum, because I can do the edges and everything with this hose here. The Kirby is a great choice. You can buy them really cheap used for like $100 or less, often in great shape. This one is a G5. That's a fairly old machine, but it's still in great shape. It's obviously hardly been used. I paid a little bit more for the Centria. They're a good vacuum. If you're new into the business, you can buy used Kirby's really inexpensively. Great way to begin. They're a great tool to have on hand. You can run your business using the Kirby. The hose that they come with is ridiculously short. And if you want to hook on hose, well, you can just use their end and add go buy yourself a chunk of hose and put it onto the end. The end is actually, see, I got one sitting right here. Hang on a minute. Where is it? Here we are. This is actually what clips onto the Kirby, and you just pop the head off and then just snaps into place on the front. This is actually a Kirby hose right here. As you can see, it's ridiculously short. So what I do is I had taken the end and I put like a 12 or 15 foot hose on it, and I was using it that way for a while, and but then I decided to go with the Shark. It works even faster, a little bit better, I think. But anyway, that's an option. And the Kirby definitely works really well. No issue at all. Pro Team is a good choice, but they are more expensive. It's about $100 more to buy the Pro Team off of Amazon.ca. Anyway, I don't know what they sell for in the US. I think in Canada here we're paying around $600 for these or more. No, so they're not. It's not a cheap vacuum compared to this. I think this is an excellent value, and I'm really happy with the way that it is proving to perform. And look at the nice long cord it's got. It's like, I think that's a 40-foot long. That's one thing that's frustrating about the Kirby. It's got a ridiculously short wire on it. And anyway, this cord does actually, they've made it so that it disconnects right there. So you can, run you could run a 100-foot extension cord, I guess, on it if you wanted to, although I don't recommend doing that. 50-foot would be the max, really. That's all you ever need anyway. And you've got a crevice tool. You do have a crevice tool sitting right there, which I pop onto here when I'm doing edges usually, because this is actually kind of short. I don't know what else to say about it. I do like the vacuum. I'm liking it more and more all the time, and seeing how well it's performing against all these other vacuums is I think it's pretty impressive. I'm really impressed with the way this vacuum performs. So anyway, there's the final shootout. I did, as I say, wanted to make sure that I had treated this vacuum fairly, and I didn't realize I was using it in my first couple of comparisons kind of with my hands tied behind my back by using a bag that was actually a little dirtier than I realized it was. So anyway, there you go. There's the final test for the Hoover against these other vacuums, and hope that if you're thinking about getting a Hoover Hushtone, now you've got enough information that you can make an informed choice. And I know there's other guys that are using these, and I've been getting a few comments on these videos. If you've probably noticed, the guys are saying they have one and they really like it. So there you go. That'll help you to make up your mind if you're thinking of getting one of these. So anyway, enjoy. Have a good day. Just a nice weekend. It's Sunday today, Labor Day weekend, and I guess I gotta go cut my grass. All right, have a good weekend.